So let's move on to the last team, and that is Alpine. So of course, Alpine managed to beat Clan in the constructors last year to fourth place. Of course, through Alonso and Ocon. But they had towards the end of the tenure had a bit of a tumultuous relationship, if you will. Alonso saying, "Oh, I'm glad it's all over," sort of thing, blah blah blah. Of course, Ocon did actually beat Alonso in the championship standings, and that's the first time he's been beat since I think maybe like Yarn Trulli days or something like that. Can't recall. So it's been quite a while. So now they've got the French Revolution in charge in Gasly and Ocon. This is a highly anticipated lineup because for those who don't know the backstory, the only reason Gasly is even racing is actually technically because of Ocon, and that's because they were boys back in the day. Well, yeah, they were boys back in the day. Not really so much now. They kind of masquerade like the boys now, but I know it's cap. You know when like the Bloods and Crips trying to do the civil thing, and it's like, nah, you're just doing it for PR,
innit? Not like that.
Yeah, just, you know what I mean. It's like we know you still don't like each other. Like, don't stop the cap in it or whatever. PR, blah blah blah. Cool.
It's like two bres going for the same gal in it. You're friends on the top level, but you know deep down you're cussing them in the background. I hear it.
Yeah, it's like you and Kwame in tape or something going off the same guy. Yeah, I get it still. Yeah. I know them ones.
This guy, fam. Hey, yo.
Okay, yeah. So basically, for those who don't know the backstory, Ocon lent Gasly. So Gasly actually wants to be a footballer, hence why he has the number 10 number on his car. Big PSG fan. Thought himself as like a cam, basically number 10 in football. And then Ocon lent Gasly his car one time. Gasly fell in love with the car and blah, blah, blah. And then when Ocon was bloody living in caravans and shit like that just to go from race to race, Gasly was, he was doing the same thing. I don't think he was doing the caravan thing, but I think he may have a bit more pay. But, he was doing his thing, made his way up, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, of course, I think from the young categories, they had a bit of beef. It's conflicting reports from both sides how the beef started, but supposedly they've made up now. So, these are both drivers who, split opinion a lot. So, Ocon, I feel, is like almost like the acid test on how you rate F1 drivers. Really, he's sort of like the metric of like if you sort of, it's hard to explain. I know Kwame can help me out here. It's hard to explain, but it's like Ocon. But a few people rate Ocon quite highly and think he's underrated, and a few other people think he's needy, he's not all that, blah blah blah. I think he's all right. He's steady.
I said before. I get me. I said before. I think it's to my head of Chris. I feel like Ocon's like the litmus test of F1 drivers. Like he's like the borderline. Like if you're below Ocon, you are dead in the sport. If you're around the same level Ocon, you're a decent number 2 midfield driver. If you're above Ocon, your levels. If you see who's Ocon's being with in teammates, Alonso, Perez, Verline, even Mendes, all these man you can kind of see, Stroll as well. How can I get Stroll? All these man you can kind of see, where Ocon has been, and Ocon's the type of driver where he's not the most fastest driver, but he's very consistent, and he's always that driver who does his job. Whilst compared to Gasly, they're like yin and yang. Like compared to Gasly, he's at the other side of the field where Gasly is very, very explosive, very fast. But he has been very inconsistent in his days in F1. Compared to his days in Red Bull, where it didn't work out for him. But then Torres has been cooking, so he's kind of now looking to solidify place in F1. That's for Ocon is great place, kind of solidified. Because if you look at Ocon, who he's gone against, Alonso, he was on paper with Alonso. I feel like Alonso was better last year. I'm not gonna lie. Even though the point is just Ocon had better, I feel like Alonso did better than Ocon. Just he had issues with reliability in his ends. Again, Perez, very close to Perez, but I feel like Perez was a better driver in the time of 14 personally. But again, he was very head to toe, especially when he was young. B Verline and Pax Stroll as well. So, hey. That's, Ocon's kind of, litmus paper, whatever. And then Gasly, he's kind of had an easy avatar, in my opinion, I can't lie. And now he's kind of making a big step up for the Marquis French team. So it'll be interesting to see where it'll be next year. This team as well is a team full of politics. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays up as well, man, because the whole reason Ocon is in Alpine, I'll be honest, it's club politics, bro. I feel like we should have kept Alonso and you should have gone to Piastri instead, but we did the different contract for Ocon because, again, the French driver, French team. So, which I don't hate Ocon. I feel like Ocon's a good driver, but in hindsight, yeah. I'm not sure we should have done it, but, listen, I feel like we've gone for a young base in the team. These drivers are all in their mid-20s. These drivers have both got race wins. We know these drivers can both cook. We know it's going to be very intense. And listen, if you want fun for F1 this season, back Alpine, man. Back the boys in blue. Because it's going to be a roller coaster, man. I wouldn't be surprised if these drivers crash each other out in Canada. I wouldn't be surprised. But, hey, we can get an odd podium here and there. You've seen it before in previous seasons. That P3 is looking, if Mercedes drop out, if Ferrari have those moments, if Red Bull's engines go compute, we will be there feasting. We'll be there finishing that. So the engines is a big thing as well when you talk about it as well. Because last year really truly was a year where, from what I understood, was a very high risk, high reward year, in the sense that the engineers and end designers didn't trust the team, so they just thought, screw it. These engines are just gonna turn up as high as you can. And if you win, you win. Not even if you win. If you do well, you do well. If you do bad, you do bad. And it turns out we actually did very well. We did very, very well. But the issue is the engines kept blowing up. So this season, what I'm expecting has to be, stable. Reliability has to be on job. There can't be no. I'm looking more at the engines, how they perform, and if they're more stable. Like, I wouldn't mind if it's P3 every now and then with retirements. I wouldn't want that. I'd rather just have the P6 every races. That's what I want in it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But hey, listen, I'm here for the ride, man. It's gonna be a fun year, man. I'm not expecting no good year for us, man. I just want fun.
Cool. So, Kwame, day-long monologue on your Alpine boys, your baguette boys.
I don't look man all day long, man. Come on.
Man said French till I die and all that. I hear that still. But okay. So between Gasly and Ocon, who do you think is going to get the better few over the season?
People keep asking this question, man. He's better, man.
Hey, man.
Let's enjoy both, man. Let's enjoy both.
No. You got to give me an answer, bro. We ain't doing that. Ain't sitting on no fence, bro. Get them splinters out your ass, brother. Just give me an answer now, bro.
Hey, if you look at my tweets, man, you know who I think. I'll go Pierre.
Me looking at your tweets, brother.
I'll go Pierre. I'll go Gasly. I'll go Gasly in it. It'll be close, but I prefer that type of driver in it. Like me, I prefer that exciting racing season. I prefer that driver in it.
Make sure that's clipped.
Brother, I've been saying Gasly. I've been saying Gasly in it. But listen, I wait both drivers though, man. I wait Ocon, wait Gasly, but yeah. I'm gonna go for Gasly, man.
What's your reasons why, brother?
I think I've said it before. I prefer Gasly as a driver, and I prefer that that rawness he's got compared to Ocon's kind of like mature game. I just prefer that speed in my driving personally. I feel like we're very similar to how Force Indy was with Perez versus Hulkenberg. In the sense that he had Perez who was much more consistent, but when it came to strategy to his tires, when it came to races where you can get out of the bag, he did him. I feel like Gasly have another season on that. I feel like it would take him a while to get up to speed though, to be fair with you. But I feel like towards the end of the season he did as well. I feel like Ocon always starts well though, to be fair with you though. Like even last year with Alpine, he started much more better than Alonso, but Alonso was coming towards the end of the season. So it'd be close. Ocon does very well against the teammates, but I'll give it to Gasly still.
Cool. So, in terms of the constructors, where do you think they can realistically finish? I think
the highest we can finish is P4. I feel like that gap P4 between Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes is another road from where we are. So and we came P4 last year. So risk we should be P4. and lowest. Being shameless, I'll say P4, but realistically, I'll probably say P6 because Aston Martin ended very well last year. They've got a lot of guys for Red Bull, Mercedes. They've got the money kicking in. We know how Alonso can cook. And McLaren, if Piastri is as good as as he has been in his Formula 2, Formula 3 days, if he's been as good as he was, they will cook as well. So it'll be a competitive midfield as always. But I say we should be P4. We should be P4. And anything less than P6 is a big failure. In my eyes.
Cool. Rafa, do you have any thoughts on the Alpine and the upcoming, French Civil War that's going to ensue?
Oh, a lot of thoughts. Look, you saw last year, Laurence and Ocon, things got a bit fractious towards the end. I just see this end up in the car crash. I just see it coming. Like, who was it? What team
quite literally as well.
Yeah, literally. It's going to be like, Hamilton and Rosberg 2016 when they crashed in Spain. Like, Zappanau's got to be like, yo, you man can't race at all. Like, we literally have to going to control your races. That's what I believe is going to happen. Because I think Ocon is a feisty guy anyway. And I think Gasly against him, that's just going to rile him up even more. I just don't see that working at all. I can't see in my head them two being cordial at all. And I think like the atmosphere is going to be terrible between the both. I even think like your management is so bad as well. Like,
it's a mess, bro. It's a mess.
Laurence Rossi is the biggest wasio I've seen, bro. He's a wasio.
Speak on it.
He's a wasio. Like, you've got the Trinity, Laurence Rossi, Pierre Gasly, even Zappanau. You know what? Even Zappanau, I'll throw him in there too. Zappanau.
I vote on my end there, man. Because I don't hate him either. Vote on my end there, man.
Hey, you've got four. I told you, you man got the 4 horsemen of destruction right there. Them man are going to be beefing with each other for the whole season on it. So good luck in it. So just good luck. That's what I'm gonna say. Good luck, because boy, it's gonna be explosive there. I'm be watching you, man, for laughs. And
it's like I said, if you love car crashes, if you're one of the people who watches F1 DTS Drive to Survive, and you love mayhem and chaos, this is the team to watch and enjoy. Austin Haas, it's gonna be fun.
DTS next year is gonna be them 4 as main characters. Like the end credit scene. You're just gonna see Zappanau, Pierre Gasly, Ocon, and Laurence Rossi. Them 4. Bro, we need a whole separate TV show about just them in it. So I'm gonna be watching on it, but yeah, I can't see that working. There's just too many volatile characters in that for me to work. So yeah, hold tight, Alpine, hold tight.
Yeah, definitely. Laurence, do you have any thoughts on Alpine for the upcoming season?
I think the only thing to add, I think obviously Ocon's going to want to put a marker down quite quickly. Obviously, you've got the history, but it's another teammate coming in. He obviously must feel like it's his team because he's probably been told that, to be honest. As Kwame pointed out, the politics kind of have kept him in the role. And also, to be fair, this guy was just turning up in P5 last year, every other race, and no one seemed to know how. No one can tell you how he got there, but he was there. And Gasly starts to cry quite quickly. As soon as something goes wrong, the man's crying. The man's blaming his brakes. He's blaming his engineer. He's blaming the car. And I don't think there's time for that at Alpine. But to be honest, I think they will have the quickest car out of the 3 of the teams, obviously, we're chatting about. I think they'll have the quickest car, probably by some distance as well, actually. But if you put McLaren or Aston Martin drivers in that car, this wouldn't be a conversation. But I think it is because there's 2 bozos in that car that are going to be more interested about fighting each other. So I think that, to be honest, that's where we can obviously sneak in. It's going to be chaos, honestly. The first race, oh my goodness, I can't wait. I'm ready.
Hey, Laurence,
I'll be there no matter what.
Hey, Laurence, I can hear Crofty right now. Bahrain. Lights out and away we go. And Gasly and Ocon down into turn one, they cracked. Oh, I can't
Well,
wait.
he's got his raps made, bruv, already.
Yeah.
He's got the raps already in that book, ready to go.
And then Martin Brundle jumps on the thing. Like, yeah, that's very stupid from Ocon there. Yeah, should have left him a bit. I can't wait. I can see it in my mind's eye right now. So I can't wait. Grab your popcorn for Alpine, fam. Them man are just putting up.
Yes.
There.
So I'm saying, man, get the free value, man. It's gonna be a lovely year, man, of just mayhem.
It's gonna be a lovely year for us.
I'm not pretending like these men are gonna be doing well. I'm not pretending. I'm here for the ride because,
bro, you know what is
this? I need something like this, man. Everyone's been too
too nice.
No, I want chaos, man. That man said I want chaos, man. I know I'm hating, but I want chaos, and this team will bring.
Yes, bring the violence.
Toxic.
I want men that don't like each other. Now come out and just say it with their chest, and none of this. Oh no, I'll defend for you. Defend like a lion, bruv. No.
Them days are over, bro. You had it, Kwame, innit? You had it.
Yeah.
You had it. Now, hey, them team radio snippets on the end of, Alpine's one are gonna be crazy. Hey, they might even drop them in French. That's how volatile it might get, bro.
They'll be swearing and it sounding amazing.
Yeah,
bro.
The
hell out of each
so
other,
swearing fluently. It's gonna be great. Great.
Kwame's Duolingo popping off, boy.
Yeah,
man, shout out Chris, man.
That Duolingo will be popping off. Shit.
Yeah, man. French chat is gonna be far off the way. So honestly, man.
Yeah, I've been telling Chris to translate every 5 minutes, bro. No, he's tapped into French Twitter.
Them updates, can't wait for.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. So last but not least is from everyone. I want basically the 3 teams that we've spoken about, just an order of where you think they'll finish. Well, who will finish the highest out of the 3, basically. So it'll be a case of like Alpine, McLaren, Aston Martin, or Aston Martin, McLaren, that sort of thing. So, Kwame, who's your order, if you will, for the 3 teams, Aston Martin, McLaren, and Alpine?
So P4, I'm not even shamelessly, to be honest with you. I'm actually going to go with Alpine. I feel like we out of these lot, I think we've got the fastest car. We had so last year. These guys have been saying that the issue with these run a lot though is every year they've been saying next year's our year, man. These men are like the Tottenham of F1. I get sick and tired of it, but it's just funny. These man saying, 2022, we didn't put a lot of effort in. It was just, crash course year, put energy to 2023, where we're going to sort out the reliability of the engine. And the aerodynamics of the cars can't, to be honest with you. Strategy was very hit and miss. Somehow Ocon always bust case, but Alonso, you look at him, it was, very up and down. He suffered the bronze essentially of the reliability. But, I'm going to put us P4. Heck, Ocon and Gasly will cause chaos, but I think we'll have enough to scrape it. P5, we're going to go McLaren. I think, again, McLaren, they're kind of the opposite to us in the sense they were very reliable last year, but the pace wasn't as good as I think it was. I feel like Norris dragged the car a lot. I feel like Norris dragged the car higher than it should have been a lot of time last year, which I think shows how good he is and his potential. Danny Rick, let's talk about Danny Rick. I'm actually surprised we haven't talked about Danny Rick like this pod because that guy last year, him and Latifi, man, probably Stinkfest. So Piastri should drag them higher this year, and I feel like they'll be better than last year. But I don't think the pace will be as much as ours. And PG's on the Aston Martin. Not because I feel like Aston Martin are a bad team, but just the gap they have to do to catch up with Alpine and McLaren. I think they'll be there. I think it'll be a 3-horse race for the midfield. But yeah, Stroll, my eyes on you, and that's all I'm saying.
Cool. Rafa, who will finish highest in out of the lot then, out of the 3? What's your order, sorry.
I'm gonna go Alpine P4. As much as there's chaos, I think just like last year, they'll get there in the end. Close though. I think it'll be close margins. I'm gonna say Aston Martin P5. I think pace wise, we weren't too far. Race pace wise, weren't too far from McLaren toward the end of the year. And I just think with the guys we're bringing in from Red Bull, some guy. I don't know if he brought some guys from Mercedes, but I think I think this is Dan Pello's first design input in the car as well. Last year they started off with the wrong concept. They actually had two concepts they wanted to go with, and quite evidently they picked the wrong one. And so I think we start off on the right foot this year. So those points we missed out on the first half of the season, we get in the first half of the season. We're going to be more consistent. And I'm going to go with McLaren just because I just think, as much as I like Piastri, I think he can be a good driver. He's got talent. I just think he might just be a little bit behind the 8 ball first year or stuff like that. It's going to be, and the McLaren's not an easy car to drive. It's probably like one of the hardest cars to drive on the whole grid in terms of just drivability. So it's gonna be a handful for the kid, isn't it? I think Lando will do his thing. I think Lando will be arguing with the top guys for P6, P7 because that's what he does. I'm gonna put McLaren P6. Yeah. So I think it's gonna be tight. I think the margins are gonna be up in there. So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Okay. Laurence? You're on mute, bro.
Sorry. As we've been talking, I've kind of flipped and flopped. First, I put McLaren 4th because if you look at last year, if they had a competent driver, obviously in the second seat, they would have got 4th place. They would. So if I look at that, that's what I would have hoped. But I think Piastri taking a while to get up to speed will probably leave McLaren a bit short. So I would say Alpine 4th. They'll do their best to F it up. Then I would say McLaren 5th, because Lando's strong enough to carry. He carried them to 5th last year, so he can carry a team to 5th on his own. And then Aston Martin 6th, just because I think they'll probably make a similar mistake in terms of the direction of their car, because they're trying to do too many things at once. I think too quick. So I think it depends on really. I think the kind of where the teams will finish depends on Piastri. How quickly does this guy get up to speed? If he's bang on it like Lando was a few years ago, then I think we'll get 4th quite comfortably in the end.
Cool. Yeah, satisfied with that. Right, cool. Okay, so thanks everyone tuning in. If you've got this far, please remember to, of course, do the usual on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Make sure to follow and give us a 5-star review on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us on the socials on the Pitstop Fracas on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok. If you want to see Kwame doing the stair, you'll bunch of some sorts of dance moves anyway. But that's. But yeah, that's all for today. Make sure you tune in next week for our final parts season preview series, if you will, of Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull. But till next time, peace.
Safe.